This first chapter will be hands-on. I will strongly suggest that you open the file for the 65 GTO. This is one of my oldest model, not the best one I've ever built, but it's fairly clean and subdividable. I have difficulty to pronounce subdividable. Anyway, I have difficulty to pronounce a lot of stuff today, but it's not very important. The model is clean, you can subdivide it and do whatever you want with it. I will just ask you please to not redistribute that model. So I did prepare my scene a little bit. What do I have in there? Stuff that you guys already know. I have a dome light, which allow me to have a light and have some reflection. And I did create 4 physical lights that are spherical just for the headlight. That's the only stuff that is ready to go. You will have an FBX file, meaning you will have to create your own light. But it should not be a problem since we already went over it a couple of times in the introduction. So then let's move forward. Let's start the IP here. I always work with the IP open as much as possible. Allow me to not lose too much time. And I realized I forgot to turn or to remove the feature from my camera. We will redo them from scratch later. And how about we start with the ground? The ground need to have a shader. Assign existing material. I'm not going right now for a realistic car. We can do that later. Right now we are going for a kind of toy model kit looking car. Assign new material, and the new material will be a shader, a redshift shader, a redshift material, and we will make it ground. It will be red. Just to have something interesting, it will be like super rough on the reflection, and the weight will be low, and it will not be gray, it will be dark red. And it will be less reflective. Okay, I think that will be a good start. Now let's start with the car. The car need to have a shader. We will grab the body of the car. Let's make that smaller for now, and grab this one and this one, and we will assign a new material. Lighting, shading, assign new material. That new material will be a redshift shader. It will be a redshift car paint. I'm trying to not go too quickly, just to make sure that you're able to follow what I'm doing. We will call it car paint. We will make sure to assign it on this one too. Lighting, shading, assign existing material, car paint. And now we will start to zoom a little bit closer and see what's going on here. As you can see, I have a car paint, which means it's paint with some flake and a nice clear coat. Let's look at the material. Car paint. We have the pigment color. The pigment color is basically the color of your paint. In my case, I think I want a green car. I like green cars. Maybe not too dark. Maybe I want a light color. Next, we can look at the weight of the paint. Take it up or take it down. For now, we will leave it at 0.5. Next interesting parameter is the edge fall off. It's the same as the Fresnel effect basically, except here you can give a different color. I could achieve that through a blend material, right? There's nothing fancy going on there. Let's put it there, and let's put it at, nah, you know what, we will not use it. Let's keep it black. I don't like the color it's giving me, and I don't need it. You don't have to use it. So now you can have the, move that up a little bit. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, something like that. Let's take some distance from the car and see what we have for color. Yeah, I like that color. I can live with that. Maybe it should be a little bit darker on the green to start with. I need more pep in there. It's too boring. Yes, perfect. So let's move closer again to see what we're doing. We have the specular from your paint, meaning that's a speck of the paint that is under the clear coat. Take it up, take it down. Generally it's better to keep it lower for what we want to do. We are trying to duplicate a paint from the 70, you know, those nice custom paint job. To do that, we need to look into the metallic flake. You see here, I hope you can see them on your screen. They are little flakes into the paint. What do they do? Let's see, the weight of the paint. I'm taking them down, the flake, and I'm pushing them up. And I'm making them more glossy. And now you can see them here and here where they have a better effect. It's very hot rod customized stuff. You know, like the paint that you will find at the carnival on those bumper scooter. That's the type of paint we are going for right now. Take the glossiness down. And the stuff we want to make sure is that we have more of those little stuff. Like right now we are at 0.4. If I'm at 0.2, I have less. But if I go at 1, I have a lot more of them. But they are still too big. I want to see them, but I think they will be too big. Actually, in the distance, further away you go, more they disappear. It's avoid to get noisy. But I think we should be going with a size of maybe 0.02. And here you can see them more. Here, if I go a size of, we were at 5, let's say if I go a size of 0.1, it's what you get, big one. Then we were at 0.5, smaller, and I decided to go to 0.2. And we can play also with a Fresnel effect on the facing reflectivity and on the side. So we would leave it at 0.85, something like that. Should give us a decent result. So the next step is to look at the clear coat. The clear coat is basically what it say it is. It's a clear coat. It's a coat that is super transparent and super shiny on top. Let's put it at 1. See the difference? And let's take it down to 0. You can see the difference. So put it at 0.6. Generally it's give me the best result. We should crank up the sample on all of that. 32 should be good to make sure that we get as few noise as possible. And on the clear coat we can also play with the Fresnel respect. Yeah, you see exactly what's going, right? I talk, and just moving a slider tell you a lot more than what I'm going. That's why here we will leave it at 0.4. Maybe we should leave it at 0. Yeah, it's better. Curve factor 5. Give us a stronger reflection. Now if we move away, we see that we have nice reflection that are not overpowering on the car. And I don't like it. 7, and it should be better now. And now it is better actually. So next stuff we want to do, you see I'm still playing with those values until I find something I really like. I'm never sure of what I want. I just realized I'm not getting the value I want. And you remember I told you all the time, it's like I'm not cutting those videos. I want you guys to see my mistake. And my mistake is that I move all those sliders, not really looking at which one I should have keep back. I have a problem right now. It's like I am losing, okay, the color is fine, but I'm losing my reflection. My reflection should be here. The problem is that I am getting, let's see, glossiness, we will take it there. Now, exactly. You see, the base layer specular was too low. And then there's a facing reflection issue. And then there's the the reflection from my clear coat that is not doing what I want. Now we are back in business. Let's say 0.2. Still a little bit too strong, and my green is too strong, and take everything down, and now it's better, and actually my clear coat should be at 1. Now depending of 0.1, sorry, depending of what you do, you might want to change those values depending of the environment that you have, depending of your test, right? Remember, it's a hands-on, but it's not do exactly what I do. It's like, hey, let me show you the way I do it, and then come with your own sources. Okay, we have the paint, we have the flake. I'm fairly happy with that. Those little flakes are here. I might actually, just for the sake of that tutorial, make them back a little bit bigger. I'm afraid that they look too noisy and we don't recognize them as flake anymore. That's why I will be going back to my metallic flake and change the scale down to 0.06. They're actually a little bit bigger than they used to be. So this is good. Yes, it is. Now, next step is to look into my chrome. I need a chrome. Let's do that. Let's say lighting, shading, assign new material, shader. We will get redshift material, and we will say, let's start with the silver. Let's call it chrome actually, but we will change it a little bit to make it look more interesting. Lighting, shading, assign existing material. Lighting, shading, assign existing material, chrome. So, and now if we zoom a little bit and we look at our chrome, we realize that we need to change something. It's a little bit darker. Reflectivity is good. We need to take it down a little bit to make it darker again. Remember, we are doing kind of toy looking car. Maybe we should give it more simple. Let's say 64 for the refraction. We're not doing any refraction anyway. Well, let's leave it at 8. Reflection is at 256 by default. We will leave it there. We might want to take the reflection here a little bit down, not too much. This is fairly good. We need to assign the chrome to the rest of the different chrome part. No, to that one, yes. Lighting, shading, assign existing material, chrome. This name chrome, this name chrome. Chrome, we assign it to everything, not everything, but a lot. And that one too, that one too, that one too. That little thing there, the GTO emblem, antenna, the wheels, lighting, shading, assign existing material, chrome. And you see it's very comfortable. I'm actually walking with the IP here open, right? Lighting, shading, assign for the ground. We go back to the ground just to make sure we stay red, and it is actually not too bad. I'm not too sure if I like the ground and the environment. You know what? Let's kill the ground. Let's grab our IBL light and point it to the factory and see what the car look like in the factory. It's actually maybe better. It's floating right now because we don't have a ground with shadow, but I think the light is better. What if we leave it somewhere there? Let's give it a create polygon plane. We will give it a ground plane with some shadow. Remember we did look at that shadow before? We will assign it later, but for now let's leave it like that. Display show all. Do I have the glass here somewhere? I have the glass for the headlight. Not too bad. Turn a little bit to make it look more interesting. And let's look at the glass here. We need a glass shader. Lighting up, sorry. Up, lighting, assign new material. We grab a shader which will be a redshift material, and we will just be very straightforward and grab a glass preset, and it's actually not too bad. We go under refraction transmission, and since we are not doing a perfectly realistic car, we can make the glass a little bit darker. Not that dark. Ooh, not that dark. Here we can do a thin wallet, and let's see what we do. We have not enough color here. Actually, let's do that. Make this one more like here. This is now already more interesting. We will give it index of refraction of 1.1, and what about dispersion? I think the dispersion is not very interesting on the glass. We should keep the dispersion. You see it gives you that nice chromatic aberration here a little bit. We should keep that. It's like a prism, light I can't pronounce dispersion here. Let's do that on the headlight and see what's going on. It will give us a better effect with the light turned on. Here this one is a glass headlight, and dispersion, let's give it 20. You saw the light, it start to break into its different component, going into the rainbow primer color. That's exactly what it does. We will keep it this way. Or maybe you will not keep it this way. It's really up to you. What do we do next? Next we look at the tire. Same story for the tire. I need tires. Tires are made of plastic or rubber. That's why we will start with a base of let's assign a new material. Lighting, shading, assign new material. Shader. We will grab redshift material, and again I'm trying to be slow. It's terrible to be that slow, but I understand you guys want to follow and do exactly what I'm doing, or at least go in the same direction. Custom preset, we will grab a plastic and make it way darker. Now, an interesting thing, it's like if for any reason you guys feel like you are left behind, I'm going too fast, you don't understand my accent, by all means feel free to reach me through email, Facebook, and ask your question. I'm generally very good at responding to people and making sure that I explain myself a little bit better. Because the problem is, since I am doing those videos the same way as you were sitting with me, I just go and blah 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 blah, and then maybe I'm going too fast, maybe I'm jumping about something. Again, if you have questions at any point in time, just feel free to ask. Send me an email, contact me through Facebook. I'm very easy to reach. 64 here, reflection, then we will do more roughness. Reflection will be slightly blue-gray. And my tire should be maybe more, but just maybe here. Then what do? We go into outliner, window, rendering, hypershade. Sorry, I call it outliner all the time, but I mean hypershade. Then we will grab the redshift material 22. Something to keep in mind is when the IPR is open, your icon thumbnail will not update from your material because all the render power go through the IPR. So we were looking at those tire, let's call it tire base, and we will duplicate it and call it tire wall and make it white. Why? Maybe not completely white, but a nice bright color, just cause the tire of this car will have a different material. We don't need to do it on the other side because we are not really displaying the car from the other side. So now we are starting to get something. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's coming together. Let's look at the environment light. Let's see if we turn the light around. What's going on? No. 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 And if we hide the ground, what do we get? It's also in, oh yeah, that's cool work. So we will save the file. Done. And we will continue with what we are doing. Meaning, what's next? Next is to look into the interior of the car. Actually, let's look into that roll cage. Lighting, shading, assign new material. I'm repeating myself, it's just to make sure that you know exactly what I'm doing. Again, lighting, shading, assign new material. It will be a shader, it will be a redshift material again. It will be kind of purple. Actually, since the ground is not red anymore, we can make it red. Red or orange. I think orange is kind of cool. Yes, orange is working for me. And we will make it rough. We take the weight down, and we also take the weight down from that. And actually, maybe red is quite better. Yeah, I think I like it more. Nice. And actually we move the red again. You realize, oh, I never really know exactly what I want, right? Until I get it. So next step will be the plastic of the interior. Then I will say let's move that here. Let's move that here. I realize I have this blue bar here right there in the middle of my screen. That's why I will be stopping that recording and restarting it.